going to scream. Let me see. Letting go. Let's talk about it. So I'm pretty sure that we've all had to let go of someone, something, some people at one point in our lives. And it stung like a mother. But hey man, it happens. Today though, I want to trigger you all a little bit. I want to talk about those exes of yours that you can't let go of. The ones that you said, oh, I'm going to get married to them. This is what's going to happen. We're going to have such a great time. One day, our wedding colors are going to be emerald green and gold. And here's the thing. We all know it was never going to happen that way. But what can we do? What can we do? So let me paint a picture for you. Here's the scenario. It's Peter and Pamela. They've been together for 3 years. In this 3 years, Pamela has never received a bouquet of flowers from Peter. Peter has never asked Pamela to be ready in 20 minutes. He's taking her out to dinner at table 52. None of these things have happened, but they are expectations that Pamela have had since they started dating way back when. Now, all of a sudden, she's thinking, no, it's going to happen and all of that. Girl, why are you thinking it's going to happen? Why are you getting all excited for things that this man has never shown you he's willing to do? And you also don't communicate. You've got these unreachable is not a word. Either way, you get what I'm trying to say. You've got these expectations that genuinely are coming from nowhere. And now, when you break up, you're like, why couldn't he be like this for me? Why couldn't Oh, but I wanted X, Y, and Z. Guys, it was just never going to happen, Pamela. It wasn't going to happen. And now you're in a position where you need to find a way to let go, right? You need to figure out how to let go of Mr. Paul, who wasn't willing to do these things for you. Because also, if he wanted to, if she wanted to, if they wanted to, they would. Right? So today's topic, like I said, is letting go. And I'm going to give Pamela some advice. Pamela is a fictional person, by the way. Before you people are out there going and looking for Pamela somewhere on Instagram and TikTok, Pamela is a fictional character. I'm using this as an example so that you can also put yourself in the shoes of Pamela. Right. Yeah. So I'm going to give you all some advice on how to let go, what to do, how to do it, why you should, and whether or not it's worth the hype. Right. So first and foremost, let's just talk about what letting go is. The process of letting go is hand in hand. It's like this. They come like that. Right. When it comes to letting go and healing, they're one and the same thing. Right? But it's not the same thing also. Healing is one thing, letting go is another thing. Because you can heal from something and still hold on to it, right? I'm going to make an example. Let's say Pamela has finally moved on from that relationship with Paul where he wasn't doing all of these things for her, right? But she's still holding on to this hope that one day it's going to happen. Like, she's healed from it. It doesn't bring her pain anymore, but she's still holding on to that hope that maybe one day he's going to realize what he fumbled, and then somewhere, somehow, all of a sudden he's going to be doing these things, right? So she hasn't let go. That's what we're talking about today. The letting go part of it. So now, here's why I told you that story, or I gave you that little scenario. It's so that you can put yourself in the shoes of Pamela and see what are the reasons behind her having to let go. What even got us in the first place, right? So if you listen to that story close enough, you'll notice one of the biggest things was her expectations. She said unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic! That's the word I was looking for earlier. Sorry, guys. I was looking for that word. When I said unreachable, I meant unrealistic. But yes, she set unrealistic expectations for somebody who hadn't shown her that that was his potential, right? She fell in love with this image of Paul in her head that we all don't know where she got it, right? She's got her own standards that she's very, very much entitled to. That, hey man, we're not going to fight you. You've got your standards. But now you can't expect that your standards are going to be maintained by somebody who isn't willing to do that for you, who you don't communicate that to, and then it's just not gonna work. It's just not feasible. It just doesn't make sense, right? I think we all know this. It just doesn't make sense. But yes, that's number one, her expectations. That's one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest things that got her into the situation in the first place, right? Come on, guys, please. Even in life, right? I'm gonna give you another scenario. Let's say we've got John. John is out there somewhere and he's got a 10-year plan. In his mind, he's like, from today until 10 years from now, I shall be the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. And on top of that, I'm going to have a family and a great marriage with my husband, Max. And I'm going to have 12 million in my bank account. All of these things. Like, he's made a whole 10-year plan, right? 10 years later, after he's made this plan, he is a middle-income man. He's just a partner at a company and whatnot. It's not his company. He's not the CEO. And he had all these expectations that we just talked about from 10 years ago. And now his reality isn't the same. Now he's in a position where he has to come to terms with that and accept the fact that, okay, this is what's happening and I can't change it, right? Letting go, it's like one of the 5 stages of grief, right? It's kind of like that. You go through all of them when you're in letting go, because you're going to be angry. You're going to be upset. You're going to be in denial. You're going to bargain. You're going to be depressed. And at some point, you're going to have to accept it. That's just kind of how it works, right? And I've given you 2 scenarios, right? One about Njolo and the other one about just life in general, right? These are things where you're going to be like, at some point I need to let go of this idea or this fantasy or whatever it is that you're letting go of. How do we do that though? How do we even start? Like, what is the first step? To be very honest with you, we're about to jump straight into the last stage of grief. It's called acceptance. You need to accept your circumstances. To be very honest with you. And here's the thing. It's so difficult. I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh, it's so easy. I did it. I was able to do it. You know, I was just like, easiest thing in the world. It's really not the easiest thing in the world. Shame. I had to try and get over an ex. And yeah, it was tough. It was difficult. It was painful. It was messy. There was tears, but eventually you get to that point. It starts with accepting this thing that you wanted, this thing that you're aspiring for. Okay, I'm not say aspiring for, because you can't let go of something you're already aspiring for. Let go of whatever has not yet happened, right? It starts with accepting that it probably just wasn't that time, right? I've had conversations with a few friends of mine who've been like, sometimes it's the thing of God isn't ready to give you what it is that you want. If you're somebody who doesn't believe in God, maybe it just wasn't in the cards for you at that specific moment with the universe, right? It's just one of those things where you just kind of have to feel it out, wait, see what's going on before you can even get into it. Sometimes some of these things, they don't happen at the time that you want them to happen. It could happen 5 years later. It could happen 4 years before, It's all about understanding that these things that you want, sometimes the universe, it's not going to do the things. It's not going to put them in the cards for you in that specific moment, right? So acceptance. Acceptance is the biggest thing. Cool. Now, after you've accepted that this is my situation, this is my life, and I can't change it, then what? You start living, guys. That is really all it is. Letting go is such a simple thing, but it's also one of the biggest and hardest hurdles out there. It's so difficult. It's just about accepting it and then moving on and keeping it moving, keeping it pushing, right? But the difficult thing is, how do you just do that? Like, I know you're asking yourself right now, how do I just let go? If I could tell you that here's my 1-day guide on how to let go, I would. But it's not that easy. You're gonna play your sad music and cry and all of these things. You're going to ask God or the universe why they did it. You're gonna be there doing a whole lot, but it's part of the process. It's part of the experience. It's part of all of these different things, right? Sometimes I draw blanks. I know my next point. I know it. It's there. It's somewhere in here. It's somewhere in here. Yes. Yes, it's come back to me. So, the other thing about letting go is understanding that it isn't linear, right? So, once you've gotten to the point of, okay, I feel better now. I'm not going through all these things that I was going through before, right? There comes a point where one day, after you've been feeling good, you're like, I haven't thought about this person, I haven't thought about this thing. All of a sudden, one day, on a random day in April, you're just going to be there like, no, but why didn't it work out? That doesn't mean you haven't let go. It doesn't mean you're still holding on to whatever it is that you're looking for. It just means that you're human. And that these things, they don't just happen like this, and it's not linear. At some point, you're still going to be thinking about this thing. It doesn't mean you don't love this new phase in your life. It just means that you had a deep caring for whatever it is that came beforehand. And it's something that you had hoped for. Sometimes I like to think of it as an indication that you should try to go back to that thing, you know? But I can't tell you if it is, you know, the actual indication that you need, or if it's not, because I'm not you. I'm not in your heart. I'm not in your head. I'm not doing all of these things. I'm just Nika. Yeah, and I'm just here trying to help you let go of the people you need to let go of. You know, it's just one of those things that I have to do, because I'm that guy. I'm a good person, and I help you get, you know, a feel of the things that you've got going on in your heart. And it's just, let's say I'm a good Samaritan. I'm such a good Samaritan, because who else is talking about letting go and helping you? Well, there's a lot of people, but like, I like to think of myself as a good Samaritan who's helping you out with all of these things. And yeah, so as we keep going with this episode and everything about letting go, what's the hype? Right? I'm honestly at a point in my life where there's no hype, guys. It's not a thing of, oh, go let go because it's going to make you look cool. It's going to make you do all of these things. Guys, let go because of your own mental health and your peace and your sanity. Guys, why are you holding on to these things that you don't need to be holding on to? They're just not worth it. It's not worth it whatsoever. Let go. Because now imagine you're just sitting there holding on to your ex from 3 years ago, who was honestly just a dead bag, and the bar was in hell with them, and you're still crying and saying, no, but Timothy was like this, he was the love of my life, I thought we were gonna get married, oh, we were going to have a beach wedding. Come on. Timothy is out there with Samantha now, and he's gotten Samantha pregnant. You could have been Samantha, but because you're learning to let go, because you're here listening to this episode, and you're like, let me take that first step. Let me take that initiative to actually just let go of Timothy and his dumbass behavior. Look at you. You're flourishing. All my chickies who are here listening, you're flourishing. Because you don't want to be in that space anymore. You don't want to be struggling every day thinking about this person. Guys, a really good way to let go, ne? Delete those pictures. delete them, block their number, block on Instagram, block on WhatsApp, block on Twitter, block on all of. Because if you still are holding on to this person, seeing their pictures, seeing all of these things, they're in your mind all the time, you're now thinking, no, but what could have been? It could have been great. We could have had the greatest love story out there. No, you wouldn't. You really wouldn't. Because now, one day, I'm telling you right now, if you don't let go, one day you're going to find yourself in a situation where this person is showing you what a clown you actually are. They're coming back into your life to see just how stupid you are, to see if you're still dumb. Don't let them see that. Even if you are dumb and you're still crying about them every day in your house, don't let them know that you're crying every day in your house. Block them. Especially on a Snapchat day. If you have pictures with them, please, I beg of you, delete them. Because Snapchat is your biggest op. I'm not going to lie to you. Snapchat is your biggest op when it comes to letting go. Next thing you know, you're just there, you're scrolling and whatnot, and it does that thing that it does this day 4 years ago. 1, 2, 1, 2. You're just seeing you and that person. It's all smiles. Oh, jiggy. Oh, but I miss her. Now you're texting them. Hi, how are you doing? You know, seeing you on my Snapchat story or my Snapchat memories had me thinking about the past again. And I just wanted to see how you're doing. You don't have to respond though. Just tell your mom I miss her. Now, this is the situation we got going on. And do you really want to be that person? Stuck in that loop? You're creating a cycle of I'm letting go, no contact. All of a sudden, you're not letting go. You're still talking to them. Then they do whatever stupid stuff they did before. Now you're back there. Oh, I have to let go. No contact. Now you're doing this over and over again. Within the space of 3 years, you've done no contact 5 times. You're still trying to figure out how to... Come on. Let go. Really? Let go. Just, it's enough. Your friends are tired of listening to you cry every day about the same person. Your people around you are exhausted. They can't keep hearing, no, but Chomi, he said this. Oh, but friend, he did this. Oh, but he said he's sorry. Yeah, he said he's sorry, but at the same time, he's going and having a real good time in the bedroom over there with your cousin. Now look, you're going to a baby shower for your cousin, and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to congratulate her. Then you see the baby there. Guess who it is? That person you didn't want to let go. Now you're crying. And you're like, why? Why did they do this to me? They didn't do it to you. First and foremost, not everything is about you. You were just the catalyst for the cousin and your ex to meet because they are soulmates. But because you don't want to let go, you're crying. Yeah. Every day, trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong. No, but on a serious note, without attacking you guys, without triggering you and reminding you of the things that you be doing out there, looking like fools in the streets. Honestly, when you take the time to just let go, to sit and really reflect on the relationship, what was it about? Why was I in it? Healing from the fact that it didn't work out. There's something that just lifts itself off of you. The weight, it's no longer there anymore. You're not bound the same way that you were before to this person. And I don't know, man. You literally just feel like there's a weight that's been lifted off of your shoulders. But I can tell you all of this. I can tell you that, guys, take the time to heal. Block them on Instagram. Block them on Twitter. Block them on all of these things. I can tell you to go out and take yourself out on little solo dates to forget about all of these things. I can tell you to practice self-affirmations, and I can tell you to envision the life that you have now and how much better it's going to get if and because of the things that didn't happen for you. I can tell you all of these things, but you know how they say you can take a horse to the river, but you can't make it drink. So I can tell you all of these things. I can tell you, guys, if you really want to be happy in life, let go of your expectations. I can tell you, if you really want to let go, allow yourself to take that time to distance from these things that you used to have. But that's all I can do. I can literally just only tell you. That's all I can genuinely do. I promise you, if you listen to me and if you block them and you accept the fact that they are not the person that you had hoped for them to be, and that is fine, then you can move on. It is not their job to live up to your expectations, right? It is your job to live up to your own expectations, but at the same time, give yourself grace. That is one of the biggest things you need to remember while you're letting go, while you're healing. Give yourself grace. We're human. Today you're going to be fine. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about the fact that I didn't get the promotion I wanted 3 years ago. And then one day it's just going to hit you like a bag of bricks. And you'll be like, why don't I have the promotion? Am I not good enough? And like, listen, I know you're probably sitting there like, I'll never think that I'm good enough. I'm the good. Yeah, human. One day you're going to be sitting in your bed at 3 a.m, wondering why you're not good enough for that promotion. You are good enough, but it's just not your time, right? The universe is doing this for a reason. It could be that there's just something, in the way, blocking you. God might be telling you that it's just not your time. The universe might think that, hey man, just wait a little bit more, you'll get there eventually. There's so many different things that could be coming into play, right? What you need to do is just remember that things happen for a reason. They all happen, they happen a certain way for a reason, right? Let's not forget that. But like, just to close off a bit more, other than giving yourself grace and all, I just want to give it a little word of encouragement, 2 seconds. There is so much that happens in life that we expect. There's so many things that go on, but like I said, life is like rice. One day the water is going to boil that way, one day it's going to boil the other way, and other times it's going to just go straight up, and other times it's just going to do funny things. But at the end of the day, you're going to rise, right? You're going to rise above all of these things. You may have a certain outlook in life, you may have a certain thing that you really, really wanted, and it's not doing anymore. It doesn't want to. Just understand that it's just not the time. It just might not be the time. Really and truly, that's what it could be. It might not be your time. God might not be letting you have that thing because it's just not the time. Right? He put it in your life for a reason. Either it's for a season, or he wanted to show you that, hey man, this is the little preview to what your life could be. But I still need to take it away because you're not at a point where you can maintain it. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. But like I said, give yourself some grace. Timothy wasn't worth it. That thing that you wanted in life, it wasn't time. And when you let go, oh shame, the happiness you're going to feel. The amount of happiness you're going to feel, you're going to be so light. But it's going to hit you again one day, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line that, I wanted this thing and it didn't happen. But hey, we heal and we move on. Now, as usual, thank you for being here. I appreciate your presence. It's been a good episode. I hope I didn't trigger you too much. I hope I didn't trigger you too much, but yeah. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm going to see you again next week.